Welcome back, YouTubers, to our Money in the Bank pay-per-view review with me, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me in his suede coat, everybody, is none other than NJ.
What's up?
Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this pay-per-view down in the comment section below.
And actually contact us in the link to the description box below.
Yeah, we couldn't really be more different, could we, today? You're wearing a suede coat, I'm wearing a Metallica shirt. Really, really couldn't be too much different than with each other, could we, really?
Pretty much identical.
Yeah, we just want to put a special message out there. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, NJ17, Daniel_Park, and also follow us on the British Fist. I'm going to try and get a little bit more active on Twitter now, so follow us on there. Going into Money in the Bank, as you kind of knew from our preview, we weren't really looking forward to this pay-per-view too much, so I guess all we can really do now is go on and give our thoughts.
Pretty much, that's it.
Just predictable. We started off with the predictable opener, like we did last year, the SmackDown or the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank match. Cody Rhodes versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tyson Kidd versus Damian Sandow versus Tensai versus Christian versus Santino versus Sin Cara. This match was good, but it had a lot of botches in it, didn't it? And I mean by a lot of botches, a lot of botches. Kind of reminded me of last year's Raw Money in the Bank a little bit, slightly.
But if I just look past the botches, the stuff we got in this match was pretty entertaining, and the way I see it straight away is, even if it weren't too noticeable, there was possible feuds being made out of this, not just between the mid-card, also possibly higher up as well. So there's a lot going on in this match, which kept my interest. Yeah, and you know who got the most heat in this match, MJ? You would never guess it. It was none other than Damian Sandow. He got the most heat in this match. I think that goes to show how good of a character that is. But going through this match, the match was pretty good. Do you think the right guy won? Dolph Ziggler won Money in the Bank. And do you think this is the right guy? Because I really don't. People out there in the YWC may praise his wrestling ability, but Dolph Ziggler winning Money in the Bank when he clearly wasn't ready, it kind of reminds me a lot of Daniel Bryan last year. Just nowhere near ready, nowhere near booked enough, and he's been Sheamus' bitch and a glorified jobber. That's why I said it, a glorified jobber for the last 6 months to a year. Well, the 2 points I want to make is, number one, the WWE are good at this. Normally, with the wrestlers who have not been properly built up towards Money in the Bank, they get their win by winning Money in the Bank. And with this, I think, personally, yes, later on in the night I didn't prove it, but following this pay-per-view, I think Ziggler is actually going to use this briefcase. Hopefully, we'll find out probably on Raw, to boost his booking up, saying, yes, I am the Money in the Bank winner. This is going to be my reason to do better.
Yeah, I really don't think that'll be the case. But Dolph Ziggler wins. Here's your Money in the Bank winner. YWC Smarks praise. Not the right decision, in my opinion. You know, you always knew when Cody Rhodes was way more ready to win that belt. I'm not just saying that as a Cody Rhodes fan. You just knew, even though Cody Rhodes was way more ready for that belt, they would always stick the belt on Dolph Ziggler at the end of the day, didn't they? With the mindless booking that they usually do with these Money in the Bank matches.
Very true, and as much as this should be the time for Cody Rhodes to go forward, either we're going to have him fall back to Christian for a while, or we're going to have him stay in the main event but not in the top picture, and Santino is either going to go against Sandow or Sandow's going to go to Christian. So much is happening in this match, but the winner's obviously going to go somewhere, but we don't know when he's going to cash it in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ziggler was the first person to lose. Hopefully Sandow gets some kind of feud, that's all I can say. We had a Miz return in this pay-per-view. A nice little highlight for me. We had Miz return saying that he's going to be entering the WWE Championship Money in the Bank. And I'm like, thank you, WWE, for giving us a fifth guy that we could actually give a shit about in this match.
Well, with this being, like I said, one of the surprises in a pay-per-view for the Miz to make his return and also wrestle on the same night, it was definitely a good moment. And also to add him in the Raw Money in the Bank, ex-WWE champions, it was definitely a good comeback, good moment, and is exactly what the pay-per-view and the main event needed. Yeah, just something special in the pay-per-view to kind of get us hope for that main event a little bit more. What would be the main event? In our next match, we had Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. No surprise here that Sheamus went over. I felt Sheamus had to go over in this match because they need to find a more legit opponent for him going into SummerSlam, because I'm sorry, Bryan, Del Rio and Ziggler are not legit opponents for Sheamus. The match was, as we expected, was pretty decent. It's just a shame that Sheamus has been booked so well. We know he's going to win. And even though Del Rio got booked pretty well in this match, we knew he was never going to win this, didn't we? No, but at the same time, I look at this match, and yes, I went into this match expecting Sheamus to win because I think he needs this run of win and dominance before the heel, a future heel, beats him at SummerSlam. So I don't think Sheamus is going to last too much longer now. Not when he's already ran through majority of the current heels at the minute to get his point now, apart from a feud with Jericho, which is not going to happen.
Or Big Show.
Big Show, man, not really. I don't want to see that again. But this match, yes, it was going to go down one direction. But with this match compared to the past matches they've had, this one actually entertained me, and I thought they were booked pretty well for both of them. And Sheamus did not look like the monster babyface that you see in other matches apart from the last few minutes.
Which is what we needed to see, because he has been made to look very strong on SmackDown. And we do need to see some kind of vulnerability in the Sheamus character if we're going to get him over as a babyface, and in the future possibly even a top babyface for the company, as I think they are trying to line up for the guy. We had the post-match attack. Del Rio and Ricardo attacked Sheamus after the match, and we had fans chanting, "We want Ziggler! We want Ziggler!" Oh, and you got Dolph Ziggler. He came out to cash Money in the Bank. And if you ever wanted a more statement than WWE that this was the worst decision they could have had to win Money in the Bank, then this was it. Because they had him basically try and cash in Money in the Bank, only to eat a bro kick from Sheamus. Wow, what a great statement that was. This Dolph Ziggler is our Money in the Bank winner. We're going to have him still be a bitch to Sheamus, eh? That's a great message to send out there to Ziggler fans who think he's worthy of winning Money in the Bank, when clearly he is not, as you can see from his booking people.
So look at this ending segment, and we had Sheamus obviously slowly getting up because it took him a bit too long to cash in his briefcase. Del Rio being the unhappy that he couldn't beat Sheamus again. It kind of all led to obviously Del Rio not allowing someone else to become or do what he couldn't do. So I do expect, because Ziggler does seem eager to cash it in, so I expect another cash in the near future, but we'll have to see. But it was obviously what was going to happen.
I think he might. I think Ziggler may be the first one to lose. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, I do hope they do give Sheamus a stronger opponent going into SummerSlam, like a Chris Jericho, maybe a Big Show. I just hope they're going to give him a bigger feud. I just think they're going to be going down the Del Rio Sheamus route again, and they're going to have a rematch at SummerSlam, which isn't really the best opponent for Sheamus, in my opinion.
There's no reason to do it because Del Rio's lost every rematch he's got now, so it's left the door open for return.
Oh, Wade Barrett. Oh, God, if he returns and gets that Welterweight Championship, I will be very happy. But we will move on. Because next we had a tag match. Primetime Players versus Epico and Primo with Truth and Kofi, who were on the pre-show, by the way. Tag champs on the pre-show, number one contenders on the pay-per-view. That makes a lot of sense, WWE. You know, I mean, if nothing else, I'm glad that this segment actually highlighted the Primetime Players not in the right way, in my opinion. But at least it set up some kind of a tag team feud, maybe even a triple threat tag team match going into SummerSlam, possibly.
It could happen, but at this moment in time, yes, we had A. Washington saying that we're still the number one contenders, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is, SmackDown, there was a singles match, but they still lost. Pay-per-view match where they had the chance to work as a team, still lost. So, yes, there are number one contenders, but they're not really screaming out that they're going to go on to SummerSlam and win, even though they probably will, because obviously that's probably what they're leading up to, but I just don't believe in them as future winners.
And to be honest with you, I have to question, why have you had the Primetime Players lose here? Do you not want to establish these guys as number one contenders? And one thing I will say is, they do have something very special with Abraham Washington on the mic. I know you don't like Abraham Washington doing what he does.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
But I think it's a very good addition to the Primetime Players tag team. I just think they need a mouthpiece, and this is something that they could use to make them be a bit more unique. But I just hope that this segment, although the match was kind of just average, not really that great, at least it's building to some kind of tag team feud, possibly culminating at SummerSlam between the Primetime Players and Truth and Kofi, maybe even adding Epico and Primo in there. Don't know.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Abraham Washington's all about the money, but look, he's not really using his money very well if his team that he's meant to be training up are losing every match.
Abraham Washington is a god. Let's move on to the next segment. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. It didn't main event. Are we really surprised when CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have clearly been shown by facts? And people out there, you can say all you want about how great of wrestlers they are, but the facts out there show that they don't bring viewership when they're on to TV shows. So why the hell would they build a pay-per-view around it? Don't be surprised this is the main event, because if you're Vince McMahon, and if you put yourself in Vince McMahon's shoes, you would not put this as the main event either. I'm sorry, it's fact, and you have to accept that. All you CM Punk and Daniel Bryan marks out there, I'm just saying.
The thing about CM Punk is the last time he actually main evented a pay-per-view was TLC, and I was looking at that and thinking, okay, yes, you've had the importance of John Laurinaitis, Cena, Big Show, blah, 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 but it's a bit of a shame that your WWE Championship, which should be, as many people have said within the WWE, is the number one thing in the company, It's not been the main event. But with this feud, by the end of this match, hopefully should be over now.
Oh, hopefully.
Maybe the main event could, or should we say the WWE Championship, should go into the main event picture once again.
With Brock Lesnar and Triple H around the corner, I don't think so, brother, but there we go. Did you notice how the video package of this pretty much focused entirely on AJ Lee? It's ridiculous, isn't it? But we get into this match, and I mean, these guys obviously are two very accomplished wrestlers. We expected them to put on a good match, despite the fact that it was no DQ, and I think they did that to maybe end this feud and culminate it. For the WWE Championship, of course, they obviously put on a good match. These two are very accomplished wrestlers in the ring. They have great in-ring chemistry. It's just a shame we've seen it way too much now, really, isn't it? Which kind of takes the speciality of this match away slightly, despite the fact that they did have a very good match.
Well, with these two, you do expect, maybe this is why it's been going on for so long, you do expect a great match from these two for the 25th time.
And what belt? What's the type? The AJ? I don't know. What were they fighting over again?
It's a bit sad because the thing is, AJ, quite surprisingly, weren't overly used in this match. But the thing I did notice is numerous times in this match, she was siding a lot with Bryan, in my opinion, like trying to run him into a steel chair. AJ stood there when he was getting choked. Yes, locked, as they say. But AJ was like, So at the minute. But she gave the win to Punk, but she was siding with Bryan a lot during the match.
This is the thing with me. They put all this effort into AJ Lee and how she would be the deciding factor in this match. And we didn't even get any payoff for it. Despite the fact that Punk won by himself by backdropping Daniel Bryan through a table in a very good match. But the whole storyline was about AJ. And as much as I don't like the whole involvement of AJ, if you're going to do it, at least pay it off. They didn't pay it off. They didn't say who she sided with, and it kind of begs to differ for me that this feud may even continue to the 1000th Raw, and they may just have one more blow-off match, which Punk will win again.
Sadly, I look at this and I'm thinking that in my eyes, it's over. AJ's picked who is the overall WWE champion.
Well, she didn't really pick. The wrestlers fight it out.
She went through 1, 2, 3, and she picked anyway. She could have stopped after 2, like some refs do. So it just makes me think that she's picked that Punk wins, blah, blah, blah. It should be over now. Bryan doesn't deserve a rematch because the match finished cleanly, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that they're going to try and hype up one more special moment between these two. But overall, the match surprised me a lot. It had pretty good moments in, and I wasn't bored by this. I was really pleased with what we got.
No, I mean, I knew these guys wouldn't bore me. I just wasn't really interested in the storyline, which is why I have no expectations going into it. But they did put on a very good match. I will say that. Ryback versus Hawkins and Rex. We kind of predicted this was happening, didn't we? And Ryback didn't decimate as much as he usually would. Do we really have anything else to say about it, really? He got a pay-per-view spot kind of before the main event.
The one hope I'm going to have right now is this is hopefully not going to be the last WWE versus Ryback match.
WWE versus Ryback?
Yeah, because basically goes back to jobbers. I'm going to be like, you've just given us a match that actually gives him some direction within the WWE. If he goes back to jobbers on Raw or SmackDown, I'm like, back to square one.
Yeah, talking about back to square one, they went back to square one with booking the Divas on this pay-per-view, didn't they? Oh, God. A 6 Divas match with no meaning. Layla, Caitlyn, and Tamina versus Beth, Natalya, and Eve Torres. And it just gets to the point sometimes where you can't even bash on this anymore because you just have to feel very unfortunate that these ladies, they just have nothing to work with, do they? No feuds, no one seems to write for them. They're put on after a match, which means no one's really going to care about them. No one cares. And it's got to the point now where I just feel sorry for these divas because they can put on as great a match as they want, but no one will give a shit. And to be honest with you, they're all probably more drawn to your suede coat than anything else, to be honest.
Maybe they are, but the thing I liked about this match is, number one, yes, they're probably going to continue Beth and Layla, but we got to see some other divas that I guess the W fans used to like before the booking of them got even worse.
Yeah.
But this match really didn't have much sense to it. Only probably teased the continue of a feud, but that was it.
And then we get to our main event. The WWE Championship Money in the Bank ladder match. No surprise this was the main event because it had one name in it, and that name was who, NJ? I'm not even going to say it. John Cena, I will say it. I'm an impartial fan.
Who's that jumping out the sky?
No, we didn't get Rey Mysterio, did we? Because we had John Cena jumping out the sky instead. It was John Cena versus Kane versus Big Show versus Jericho versus The Miz in a Money in the Bank match for the WWE Championship contract. You know, considering that going into this, I thought this would be a really, really crap match because you had 4 ex-champions in there, bigger guys that couldn't really work a match. They at least went out there and tried. They at least tried to implement some spots without doing all the high-flying stuff, which meant the match was at least intriguing. The only problem is, we as smart fans, we knew that John Cena was going to win. It was just very obvious.
Very true. The one complaint I'm going to have is that Miz and Kane were the two that really didn't do hardly anything in this match. Not memorable moments. The most memorable moment would be the ladders pile on top of Big Show.
The ladders, yeah, they all ganged up on Big Show, didn't they? It's like, I'm fed up with his knockout punch. We're going to put the ladders all on him so we can just get out of it later, you know, because the ladders are going to keep Big Show down. That's right, lads. So I did find that quite funny, how they all ganged up on Big Show, but this was a little bit better than I expected. I didn't expect too much. I think the whole idea of this Money in the Bank was kind of flawed. For 5 ex-WWE championships, and I just got to say this. John Cena gets the victory. We all know that. He ends another pay-per-view on top. I just got to say this. What use does it do to give John Cena Money in the Bank? Just tell me. You out there tell me, what use does it give the WWE at all to give John Cena Money in the Bank? What, so we can give him another first to win?
Sadly, when it comes to the Money in the Bank, there was so much moment, especially near the end, when it could have gone to Jericho or Miz, which really made me think, yes, they're not going to let Cena win, but sadly it did come to that. But I did like the suspense at the end when it could have gone a different direction. But the thing is, Cena, he's had so much compliments. If you look on his WWE CV and stuff, it's going to be full of accomplishments. And sadly, I bet there's going to be one more coming up, probably who he's going to face at WrestleMania and actually beat them. But the sad thing is, yes, this is going to be a drawing match for a later pay-per-view, but I really did not want to see this.
No, well, not many smarks wanted to see this, but unfortunately, WWE will cater to the casual fans, which have a bigger percentage of the audiences. It's a fact. We have to acknowledge the fact, unfortunately, for WWE, who casual more to the mainstream fans. It looks like they're trying to set up John Cena versus CM Punk here at SummerSlam in the semi-main event, because Triple H and Lesnar need their main event at a big pay-per-view, don't they, NJ?
Oh yes, but the thing about this quickly is that there's a part of me that hopes in the report of the pay-per-view tomorrow we see that Cena weren't meant to win this. I really do hope we see that, because obviously the way at the end it looked a bit botched, like he grabbed it too quickly, so a small part of me hopes that he weren't meant to win that match.
It's like we had a bit of a Jack Swagger moment, didn't we? The handle come off and he's like, yeah, I won! He's like a little kid who's just bought a bike for the first time in life. Yeah, I won! But genuine emotion.
I think we should wrap this up, because I think the Terminator NJ is going to break out on me soon.
Oh, well, let's hope it doesn't, because the Terminator NJ, we don't want him on a non-go-home show review, because that would really do bad. But what were your overall thoughts on this pay-per-view then, NJ?
It was a lot better than I thought, because going into this, I had like, oh, not look forward to that, not look forward to that, not look forward to that, predict this, predict that, and it just came to be the same predictions, but the matches turned out to be better than I thought, and the entertainment was actually there throughout the majority of the matches. Even in the main event where Cena won, I was entertained by that. So overall, it was a pretty good pay-per-view, apart from the filler tag match.
Yeah, I mean, we had some filler on this pay-per-view. The opener I felt was good, but it had a lot of botches in it, which kind of took away the enjoyment for me. And the wrong guy won as well. Dolph Ziggler, how the hell can you believe him as any kind of #1 contender, really, the way he's been booked? The Del Rio versus Sheamus was decent for what it was. I do hope they do give Sheamus a better opponent at some point in the future, i.e. SummerSlam. We knew Sheamus was going to win. It was predictable, but it was decent. Then you had the CM Punk Daniel Bryan match, which was a very good match. But the whole point of the match wasn't really them two, was it? It was AJ. It was all about AJ. They didn't even pay off the AJ stuff. So what was the point in really even going there with AJ? You had all the filler then, of course, which grazed the pay-per-view down a little bit. And the main event was better than expected. But once again, John Cena winning Money in the Bank. Why? Just why? This gets a C+ for me. C+. It was a bit better than I expected, but still, despite the fact we had good matches, still very disappointing. It's hard to pinpoint what is really wrong with WWE right now. I don't know.
If Cena lost, I think this would get towards the B area, because I really weren't that bored. I was entertained by this pay-per-view. It's just, I really felt that the Cena thing was obvious, and the way he won just affected it for me. But overall, I think this was a pretty good pay-per-view. Alright,
well, you guys give us your thoughts down in the comment section below. Give us your thoughts on this pay-per-view itself. And I'm going to pass you over now. Not to the man in the Metallica shirt. Not to the man with the beard. Not to the man with the... Oh, yeah, he does have a snabby haircut. I'm going to give you the guy with the suede coat. Because guys with suede coats generally have always something interesting to say. Take it away, NJ.
Well, people, you've heard the words from the people that are all about the money, money, yeah, yeah, money, money, yeah, yeah, money, money, yeah, yeah. There we go, people. You've heard the words from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for tuning into Money in the Bank and this review. Look forward to Raw, which is 1 week away from the 1,000 episode Raw.
3 hours, bloody hell.
Now,
3
people, goodbye.